Hello guys, today we are going to start chapter number 8, Human Environment, Settlement, Transport and Communication. Man is a member of the animal world, but this species is different. It has the capacity of observe, analyze and experiment for more than the other species. Okay, human beings have explored, exploited, and modified the gifts of nature as per their needs and changed many things from its original form. This is what we shall discuss and learn in this chapter on human environment. Yes, human settlement. Human settlement have progressed in a big way since the nomadic tribes and settlers of the river valley civilization of about 5000 years back. Okay, settlements is earlier times used to be temporary in nature. People in those times used to settle at a place, practice hunting, gathering of food, shifting cultivation, and once the resources of the area were not enough to meet their needs, they moved to another area. Okay, this was known as the temporary settlement. This practice is almost non-existent in today's environment, except for some tribes in the forest and hilly areas. People now prefer to settle in one place and make their dwelling permanent. Human settlement means cluster of dwelling of any type of size where human beings live. Settlement pattern very small place to place. Settlement can range in size from a small number of dwellings grouped together into villages to the largest of cities. The term may be include villages, towns and cities. Settlement come up and grow in size depending on various factors like climate condition, availability of water, suitability of land and cater for other basic needs, fertility of soil. Settlements are also classified in terms of density and in terms of their nature of permanence. See, let's see them one by one. Okay, first one is settlement. An urban settlement in an area that is densely populated. They have an abundance of man-made structures as opposed of rural areas which contain more open space. Urban settlement normally have more developed infrastructure than rural areas like a sewer system, roads and public transport system. Many urban settlements contain racially, ethnically and culturally diverse population. Okay, normally the main occupation of the people who reside here is trade, administrative and industrial in nature. Urban settlement get further distinguished by size into town and cities. Urban settlements can grow for different reasons. They can thus be classified as given in the chart below. Okay, like urban settlement, administrative township like Delhi, Bhopal, Washington DC, Paris, etc. Industrial township like Jamshedpur, Bhilai, Durgapur, Detroit. Okay, religious township like Varanasi, Haridwar, Amritsar, Mecca, Vatican City, etc. And port town like Chennai, Kolkata, and Mumbai, and military cantonment like Mao, Barakpur, and Pathankot. Yeah, guys, settlement is divided into two areas, rural areas and urban areas, means rural settlement and urban settlement. Yeah, guys, rural settlement means rural settlements are generally associated with agriculture as the primary occupation. They also have animals husbandry and cottage and small scale industries. They are normally small in size as compared to towns and cities. Generally, lifestyle of people is very simple. They have few shops, primary health center, school, etc. To meet the basic requirement of the people, these settlements are subgrouped as squared and compact settlement. Yeah guys, scarce settlement means when a settlement has a few isolated huts or houses, it is called scattered. Okay, these types of settlements are found in hilly areas, desert and forest. They do not have much resources and support. Yes, compact settlement means where settlement in rural areas are compact, they have slightly better organized health and education facilities in immediate vicinity. Facilities like shops, post office, banks, etc. are all close to the houses. It is like a town but at a smaller scale. Normally, such settlements are so small they do not have public transport system and distances are walkable. Yeah guys, habitat. Humans have been living in various parts of the world which have different terrains and geological conditions. There are regions which remains under snow for the whole year, okay, and there are others where there is water all around. There are regions of mountains and desert, forest and barren land, all necessitating adopting their living conditions to meet the local conditions of weather and climate. Let us see these one by one. Yeah guys, cold regions. Some communities have been living in the Arctic region for centuries. They survive in sub-zero temperatures by living in ice house called igloos. Okay, the igloos are small huts which are made of ice blocks. Inside the igloos are lined with animals' skin so that the people could live in them throughout the harsh winter as well as. Yes, mountains. In the mountains, people make huts and houses very close to the hillsides so as to prevent fast wind from lashing against them. Their houses have sloping roofs so that the seasonal snow and rains flow down, thereby preventing it warm form from accumulating on top of the roof. At some places like Kashmir and the Kashmir, the house also have lot to keep food for animals on the top floor so that it does not get wet in the snow and rain outside. Even areas that get frequent rains, the houses are built with sloping roofs which are either thatched or with mud backed tiles. Yes, jungles and waterlogged areas. In the jungles, animal can prowl near houses and in plants where water often tends in overflow and enter the houses. People living in such areas have devised ways to protect themselves from these dangers. They build houses on stilts. This helps them to be safe from both animal and sudden floods. Yes guys, desert. In the desert area, roofs are normally flat as there is no fear to rain and its drainage is not important, but people build high roofs so that the inside remain cool. The construction material is locally available stone and they have windows and corridors that help keep the interior cool. Is an open desert, people built houses with the roof very close to the base of sand dunes so that they can withstand the fast blowing winds. Okay guys, modern darling. Yes, while all these adaptations were traditional, modern and science and use of naval construction material and heating and cooling devices, the construction patterns have changed in a big way. The availability of electricity, air conditioners, prefabricate huts, rooms, heaters, waterproofing materials, etc. have changed the way in which houses are built by people across the various parts of the globe. The lack of a space in cities has led to the buildings of high-rise, multi-storied buildings which are even earthquake resistant. Most of them now save rains water as part of the structure. Yes, transportation. As the population started spreading to newer places, people started moving from place to place. This movement gave rise to path and tracks. This movement gave rise to path and tracks. Earlier, the tracks were wide enough to take the weight of a cart. Such tracks were kacha, not having a hard surface or unmetalled roads. Okay, gradually, as people started using cars, buses, and trucks, the kacha roads are the kacha roads began to be made into a hard surface road. These roads have a layer stone and tar on them and are known as pakka or metal road. Their weight also increased due to increase in traffic. Road within the cities are normally given names to assist people to find their way. Roads connecting cities are called highways. These are grouped a national highway and state highways. The national highways are constructed and maintained by the central government and the state highways by the state government. There are rural roads which connect the villages to the state and national highways. The roads are the most important way to connect the centers on land. People can move easily to place on the roads. They can be built over difficult hilly terrain. Water channels can be crossed by construction of bridges. Okay, and roads help in the movement of people and goods from one part of the country to another. Okay, whenever the required crossing are made underground called sub-base or by overhead bridge. Yes, railways is another transport system which help move people and goods and mass. Passengers and goods trains run over track for long distances comparatively lesser time than it track on as there are no traffic jams and bottlenecks. They carry more load than trucks and buses combined and are cheaper mode of transport compared to the roadways. They support movement of grains and industrial products. However, there is difficulty in developing their network in hilly areas and compared to road. This certain brings in the need for tunneling through mountains, okay, which is a difficult and time consuming process. Okay, India has one of the largest network of railways in the world connecting many villages, towns and cities. There are variety of trains as local trains, okay, passenger train, express trains, superfast trains and good trains etc. Okay, nowadays mass rapid transit system commonly known as metro runs in many cities and are a common means of public transport. Some cities are also developing other systems like the monorail, okay, in highly congested areas. These have reduced the traffic on the road and at the same time it has reduced the pollution in the environment. Okay. Yeah, waterways is water transport system that is used for movement of people and goods over rivers, lakes and other water bodies. Boats and rafts are used primarily as they can move on shallow water and do not need deep waters to float on. They supplement the roads by helping people and good cross water bodies. You can see many such transportation system in the Ganga and Brahmaputra river as well as in Kerala and Goa. Okay, shipping is an shipping is an shipping is a means of transporting goods along the shorelines across seas and oceans. They are slow and time consuming but required for carrying heavy and bulky loads. They were initially used to carry passengers but are gradually losing the utility as it is a much slower means of transport than other means of travel. They, however, are gaining some support in the tourism industry, okay, in form of cruises. Most of the shipping industries today is being used as a bulk carriers of containers, ores and as oil tankers. Now we discuss about airways. Airways are the fastest, most comfortable and the most expensive mode of transport in recent times. Okay, they can easily cross over geographical boundaries and vast stretches of seas and oceans. They are negotiate across difficult terrain like mountains, desert, dense forest with great ease within a short period of time. Fast international travel between different countries of the world have become possible because of the development of airways. Airways play a vital role during natural and man-made calamities like floods, earthquakes, famines, etc. Food, medicines and clothes can be provided to the affected people. Okay, the other form of air travel is the helicopter, and they are gaining popularity as they do not need elaborate arrangements to take off and land. They are being widely used for gradually evacuations from remote areas. In certain situations, helicopters are used as air ambulance which help in saving the lives of serious patients. And however, airways have certain limitations. Their use in restricted areas, climatic conditions like dense fog or heavy storms. Okay. Okay guys, now we discuss about the communication. People have to communicate with each other for various matters like social, cultural, economic, political or even technological. Okay, you may have heard stories and incidents about how pigeons were trained by people to carry messages and also how people were required to carry other and an instruction of the kings by horse riders of the various part of the kingdom. Okay, gradually the system of post and telegraph was developed. Therefore thereafter came the telephones with the wires and people could communicate over long distance. After the radio and television were invented, people could get to know what was happening in other parts of the world while sitting in their homes. Then came the period of pagers which could communicate text message to the people. Okay, nearly at the same time the internet came in popular use. Okay, it it changed the way we interact, communicate and do so many of our daily chores. Okay, people can now easily pay bills, book tickets and meals and explore the world through the internet. Many schools have started using computers and internet to teach in classrooms. Okay, schedule homework to students, interact with parents and of students etc. Okay, people use the internet even on their mobile phones. It helps people to talk to other across the globe. Okay, these devices are so good. They can even take pictures, transmit and receive pictures, and at the same time even play video on a handheld instrument. All such devices of communication and infrastructure have made of the world look like a small place or global villages. Okay students, I hope you understand this chapter.